When I saw that video for the first time at the early service and we sang the song, I just got chills. I mean, you guys do back there, but that just was so, and to think that I didn't want to do this one day. We'll never have screens. Just so touching, so nice. So the other day, Peggy looks at me and says, Don, you're always thinking about something. And I guess that's true. I mean, we have to think. You got to think about making good decisions. You've got to think about not saying something stupid. Think before you speak, which sometimes I don't. And also, I think we can probably overthink sometimes. Maybe you've had a thing where you're trying to make a decision or trying to do something, and you think, and you think so much you forget to do it. And you never do what you think about. And probably there are times when you're thinking about so many things at the same time that your head is about to explode. And I mentioned it the other day in my thought. When I think, I get very selfish. Because when I think, I'm thinking about myself, what I'm going to do, or what I'm going to say. And that's why I'm trying now, a little more than ever, to turn to prayer. Like maybe in the morning when you're sitting alone in the kitchen with a cup of coffee before you go out the door, instead of thinking about what you got to do, maybe take a little piece of paper and write somebody's name on it that could use a prayer or two, or use a boost during the day. Think about something that you can do that'll make the world a better place for somebody else. And I've learned that there's no way, I know personally, and probably for most of you, no way we could have gotten through this past year if we had to do it all by ourselves. I know there are times when each one of us at times have felt incredibly alone, sometimes isolated, away from the people we love the most. But spiritually, as God's children, I know more than ever that I can't do it by myself, but I need you. We need each other. What is it that has helped you survive? What have you held on to the past 11, 12, 13 months to get through this? Exactly where is it that you find the hope and the strength that you need to face each day? It's interesting, in the first lesson, God actually changed his mind. God says, I'm giving you a new covenant because the old one was not working, which is the old Jewish law where if you do this, I will bless you. If you do this, I will take care of you. If you do this, I will reward you. And that wasn't working. So God said, I'm going to bring you a new covenant. And this covenant I'm going to write on your heart and your soul and your spirit, so that what you do just comes from the very guts and humanity of who you are. And that's like religion. Religion too often is what you can do or what you can't do. Who can join the church? Who can get married here? Who can get baptized here? Who can take communion? Well, you make those kind of rules and it just drives people away. But when the door is open, when you say, this is God's house, you all are welcome, it brings people together. And so even God had to change a little bit. He had a new covenant that he wrote on the hearts of all his followers. I love the gospel lesson for today. I think it's fun where Jesus takes ordinary moments to make a point. Because Jesus found magic in ordinary people doing ordinary things. And that's kind of the way I try to look at the world. That to me, the miracles come alive in people like you and me. Miracles come alive when you see people doing small acts of kindness, little things to make the world a better place. That's where God comes alive. So Jesus and his disciples are watching people come into the temple, and he sees the rich people putting in large amounts of money, which helps. But then there was a lady who put in 2 copper coins. And Jesus said, who gives the most? Well, the lady did. Because she didn't give from what's left over. She gave from the very essence of who she was. She gave it all. And that's kind of the way I'd like to be more. To give it all. to you and to the church and to Peggy and to my family and to God. Don't give what's left over. Give from who you are so that what we do can really make a difference. One person, one ordinary moment at a time. Got this young guy in our church. Well, he's not young anymore. He's old. His name is Johnny Grandforce. He used to go on youth retreats 35 and 40 years ago. And he was a horrible basketball player because he wouldn't play defense. He'd just hang around the basket. And I say, John, aren't you going to play some defense? Well, John went his separate ways. But now he's hooked. He's still grounded even though he's miles away. And I sent him a Love Bucket t-shirt. And by the way, there's a couple mediums and some extra larges left. Huh? But I sent him a Love Bucket t-shirt. He put it on Facebook. You would have thought I sent him to Disney World. But he said it's a reminder. Don, I've discovered the Love Bucket is not just a bucket. It's a way of living your life. And he said that continues to make a difference because the seeds were planted here many, many years ago. Today is Mike Sullivan's birthday, Peggy's late husband. And he died at the age of 58. And I can't help, every time I think of Mike, to think about an incident. It was the All Saints dinner. And it was back when we gathered at Silver Lake Country Club, and we had all kinds of people, and every dinner had a theme. And we had the All Saints dinner where we honored our veterans. And Mike was pretty sick then with his journey with cancer, and so he wasn't going to come. And so we had the dinner, and it was time to honor the veterans. And just before we did that, Peggy came through the door with Mike in his wheelchair and wheeled him up to the front. And as we honored the veterans, Mike couldn't stand. He clapped and he cried. You know, Mike lost a son in Iraq, and we always called Mike the Patriot. And there he was, cheering for the veterans, cheering for his country, cheering for what is good about our land. And it's moments like that that remind me what life and religion and America are all about. Because life and religion and America are about our heart. It's about our soul. It's about who we are on the inside. And we may not think that we have a whole lot to give sometimes. We may not think that what we have makes a difference. But I think each of us has learned that it's kindness and giving and that spirit that gets us through each day. And we do that together. Amen. If you're able to, please rise for the creed.